I gotta ask, would you really be surprised? Would you be upset with Lexie, with all things considered, if she considered leaving the Indiana Fever due to the way Stephanie White flat out played and disrespected her for the first half of this season?
We need to talk about the story that's been bubbling under the surface all season, one that could blow up everything the Indiana Fever have worked for. While fans are busy celebrating the team's playoff return and debating Kelsey Mitchell's next contract, something much darker has been happening behind the scenes. And it's not just about hurt feelings or locker room tension, it's about betrayal. Even Caitlin Clark, the face of the franchise and one of Lexie Hull's biggest supporters, has finally had enough.
And Lexie Hull's gonna have suitors. With the way she performed down the stretch and in the playoffs, the way she was guarding, the way she had a couple big nights shooting the basketball, Lexie Hull is gonna have suitors. You better believe the Portland Fire will be interested, the Seattle Storm will be interested, and they will be willing to probably pay her top dollar.
That's right. The usually diplomatic Caitlin Clark, the player who always stays above the drama, has quietly made it known that she's not okay with what's happening. Because this isn't just a personnel issue, it's a loyalty issue. And at the center of it all is Lexie Hull, the player who's been benched, disrespected, and discarded like she never mattered, even though she's one of the main reasons Indiana turned from a laughingstock into a playoff team. Do you think Lexie will stay next season or walk away in free agency? Let us know why in the comments below.
See what you did, Stephanie? Do you see the problems you have brought upon this team with your antics this season, Stephanie White? This is what you have done. Now we have to contemplate. We have to think about the what ifs. What ifs that shouldn't even exist because of the antics and the foolishness you pulled this season.
Lexie Hull has given this franchise everything: defense, heart, chemistry, leadership. She's the player who does the dirty work no one else wants to do. But now, she's standing on the edge, ready to walk away from the very team she helped rebuild. And honestly, who could blame her? Because while Caitlin Clark might be too classy to air it all out publicly, people close to the locker room say she's been vocal about how unfairly Lexie's been treated. She's seen it up close. The disrespect, the mixed signals, the politics. Caitlin's not just frustrated for her teammate. She's angry about what it says about the direction of the franchise.
Stephanie White flat out played and disrespected Lexie Hull this season. Oh, don't get it twisted. Yeah, she played her in a state of emergency when she had to. She had no choice. And what did Lexie do? Turned into 6 Lexie Hulls and was everywhere doing what she does as always.
Let that sink in. The heart and soul of Indiana's defense is being pushed away by her own coach, Stephanie White. The same coach who was supposed to unify this young roster. Every time injuries forced White to give Lexie real minutes, the results spoke for themselves. Lexie was a nightmare for scorers. She dove for every loose ball like the game depended on it, hit momentum-changing threes, and kept the team's energy alive when everyone else looked flat. She was everything coaches claim to love: tough, unselfish, relentless. And yet, every time she proved herself, White found another way to send her right back to the bench. And now, other teams have noticed. The Portland Fire are reportedly circling. The Seattle Storm are rumored to be preparing a serious offer. Around the league, the whispers are getting louder. If Indiana doesn't value Lexie Hull, we will. And here's the kicker. Some of those same scouts are privately saying what many Fever fans have been thinking: that Indiana is on the verge of alienating Caitlin Clark too, by disrespecting the very teammate who's had her back since day one.
Lexie Hull is gonna have a market in free agency, and they're gonna be willing to pay top dollar. Why would she even consider leaving? Because of the bonehead Stephanie White. Let's be clear. Lexie Hull got straight up played and disrespected by this new Fever regime. Kelly Crosskoff, Amber Cox, Stephanie White straight up disrespected her. They acted as if Lexie Hull was not a part of the core 4 who helped turn this team around.
Before White took over, the Fever finally had an identity. Fans called them the Fever Fab Four: Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexie Hull. They were young, hungry, and unified. Caitlin brought the firepower. Boston was the anchor. Kelsey was the veteran scorer. And Lexie? She was the glue, the one who kept everyone together when things got tough. She sacrificed her stats, her role, and sometimes even her body just to keep the team functioning.
It wasn't just CCAB and Kelsey. No, Lexie Hall was a huge part of that. A huge part of that before Stephanie White got here. Stephanie White came to the Indiana Fever and straight up disregarded everything Lexie Hall did the year before.
Then Stephanie White arrived with her so-called master plan. Her first move? Bring in DeWanna Bonner, hand her a fat contract, promise her a starting role, and shove Lexie to the bench without so much as a conversation. No open competition, no recognition for what Lexie had done to earn her spot. Just a cold, calculated move that screamed, "You don't fit my vision."
You came in, you brought DeWanna the Scammer Bonner. You started her, she 59 and a half years old in her 38th WNBA season. You decide to start her, give her a max contract, and throw Lexie Hall to the back burner. You think Lexie Hall don't remember that? You think Lexie don't remember that?
And Caitlin Clark? She saw it all. The practices where Lexie's effort went unnoticed, the games where she changed the momentum from the bench, only to get pulled minutes later. Sources say Caitlin made it known to the coaching staff that Hull's energy and communication were irreplaceable, that she made the team better on both ends of the floor. But her words fell on deaf ears. White wasn't listening. She was too busy protecting her own narrative.
All of a sudden, DeWanna Bonner quits on the team. She's no-showing it. She's no-showing work while receiving payments. Stephanie White is getting on the camera, lying to us, acting like everything is all good, lying to us when you knew everything wasn't all good. You knew that. Only for an article to come out the same day DeWanna Bonner refused to return to the team. You think Lexie Hall don't remember that? You threw me to the back burner for her and she quit? She didn't even have the decency to contact us, her teammates, and let us know she won't be coming back?
Then came the twist that exposed everything. Bonner, the player White had chosen over Lexie, quit. She flat out walked away. No message to teammates, no explanation to fans. Just vanished. And when the truth started leaking, what did Stephanie White do? She lied. She looked into cameras and said everything was fine. All good, she claimed. We're in control. Except they weren't. Bonner had mentally checked out weeks earlier and was still getting paid for it. So, let's recap. White benches Lexie for a player who ghosts the team, lies to reporters to cover it up, and only calls Lexie back when she's desperate. That's not leadership. That's desperation wrapped in PR spin. And Caitlin Clark noticed. Behind the scenes, insiders say Caitlin was furious. She'd gone to battle with Lexie all year, trusted her in big moments, relied on her defense when other players crumbled. So when she saw Lexie get tossed aside again, it hit differently. For Caitlin, it wasn't just about fairness, it was about principle. You don't treat loyal teammates like placeholders. You don't build a championship culture by breaking the ones who helped you get there.
Okay, DeWanna Bonner skips town. Lexie Hall steps in, plays great basketball. Sophie Cunningham was dealing with an injury. Sophie Cunningham gets healthy. What do? What did Stephanie White do, y'all? Threw Lexie Hall to the back burner again and benched her. For no apparent reason. And I'm going to show you because I remember the cluster of games where I'm looking, I'm like, damn, Lexie not getting no minutes.
Still, Lexie did what she always does. She rose above it. She stepped up when the team needed her. She gave them lockdown defense, hustle, and heart. She helped Caitlin stabilize the floor and made everyone else better. And just when things were finally clicking, Sophie Cunningham got healthy. And guess what happened next? Stephanie White benched Lexie again. No reason, no logic, just another coaching decision. It didn't matter that Lexie had bailed them out when Bonner quit. It didn't matter that Caitlin was visibly more comfortable with her on the floor. White reverted to the same favoritism that had fractured the team to begin with.
This cluster of games right here, Lexie Hall, she played 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 14 minutes, 19 minutes, 21 minutes, 19 minutes, 19. Bro, in July, she wasn't even cracking 20 minutes a game. Lexie Hall, 6 Lexie Halls could not get 20 minutes in July.
Look at the numbers. They're damning. In July, the heart of the season when chemistry matters most, Lexie couldn't even get 20 minutes per game. Meanwhile, Indiana's defense collapsed. They went from gritty and connected to porous and inconsistent. The formula was simple. When Lexie played, they defended. When she didn't, they fell apart. But White refused to see it. Instead, she played mix and match with rotations, testing Ari McDonald at point, forcing Sophie into unnatural roles, and ignoring the one player who consistently made the team better. The data doesn't lie. The body language doesn't lie. And Caitlin Clark's silence? That's not indifference. That's controlled disappointment. The kind that says, I see what's happening, and it's not right.
If you think Lexie Hall and her agent are not thinking about this, you have another thing coming. And if you think you are going to be able to get Lexie Hall back for dirt cheap, you have lost your mentals. You've lost it. Lexie Hall is going to be a commodity this offseason. You're going to have to pay top dollar.
Because this isn't just about Lexie Hall anymore. It's about what kind of team the Fever want to be. One built on loyalty and performance, or one built on ego and politics. If they don't fix this, they won't just lose Lexie Hall. They might lose Caitlin Clark's trust too. And that's a loss no franchise can afford. This is the cold, ugly truth the Indiana Fever don't want to admit. The one Caitlin Clark herself is quietly stewing over. The organization thinks it's business as usual, that they can smooth things over in the offseason with a few smiles and vague quotes. But Caitlin's not fooled, and neither are the fans. She's watched how Lexie Hull's been treated all year. The disrespect, the double standards, the constant demotions, and now she's had enough. And she's right. If you think Lexie Hull and her agent aren't already in deep talks about her next move, you're dreaming. Once free agency opens, the offers are going to pour in. Not backup role scraps, but real, starter-level money. Because the rest of the league sees what Stephanie White refuses to see. Lexie Hull isn't a replaceable role player. She's a system. She's culture in motion.
You better be paying some attention to Lexie. That better be just as big of a point to y'all to get Lexie Hall back too. Just like you went and promised DeWanna Bonner things, just like you clearly went and promised Natasha Howard things, which is why she could stink it up all year and you never benched her. You need to go ahead and let Lexie Hall know, hey, we're going to pay you good money and you are going to be a starter. You are a part of the core four. You will be a starter.
Every franchise wants that kind of player, and hardly any exist. Lexie doesn't chase headlines or stat lines. She guards the opponent's best scorer, hits the open three, and never asks for credit. She's the kind of player championship teams are built around, not because she's flashy, but because she makes everyone else better. Coaches love that, veterans trust it, superstars depend on it. And Caitlin Clark, she's built her chemistry around it. Look around the league. Portland Fire, an expansion team desperate for identity, needs a tone setter, a defensive leader who builds culture from day one. That's Lexie Hull. Seattle Storm is rebuilding, blending youth with veterans. They want leaders who work, not talk. Again, Lexie fits the bill. Even capped-out contenders will find a way to clear space for her because players like her don't come around often. And here's where it gets dangerous for Indiana. Both Portland and Seattle are just a few hours from her hometown of Spokane, Washington. If you think that won't matter when she's deciding her future, you're out of touch. Family proximity, hometown pride, and fan familiarity are powerful incentives. For once, the Fever might not just be fighting money, they're fighting meaning.
You had no problem promising DeWanna Bonner stuff. You had no problem promising Natasha Howard stuff. She's walking in talking about winning MVPs and all types of nonsense. You need to have that same energy for Lexie Hall because she earned her keep here with the Indiana Fever. She earned Caitlin Clark's trust on the floor. She earned the trust of the fans.
So why isn't Indiana panicking? Because they're too busy pretending this isn't a crisis. Every press conference out of the front office is the same line. We're focused on re-signing Kelsey Mitchell. And yes, Kelsey's an elite scorer and deserves her payday. But the total silence around Lexie Hull? That's organizational malpractice. Where's her public vote of confidence? Where's the acknowledgement that she's been instrumental to this turnaround? They had no problem handing out a max contract to DeWanna Bonner before she even suited up. No hesitation giving Natasha Howard all the media shine and leadership promises. But when it comes to Lexie, the player who actually bleeds for this team, suddenly everyone forgets how to use a microphone. It's not strategy, it's blindness. The symbolism couldn't be clearer. Lexie Hull played with 2 black eyes. 2. And she still showed up every night ready to take on the league's best scorers, never once complaining. That's not just toughness, that's devotion. She's out there fighting through pain while others are posting brand deals. She doesn't whine about minutes or rotations. She just competes. That's what a real teammate looks like. And that's the player Stephanie White benched.
Don't sleep on Lexie and let somebody else don't let nobody else take your groceries. Don't let somebody else come in and steal your groceries. I'm telling you, because they will. Stephanie White has put the Indiana Fever in danger of losing Lexie Hull due to her bonehead moves and her negligence. Throwing that woman to the back burner when she was damn near the heart and soul. It's everywhere. She out there playing with 2 black eyes, all types of stuff. And that's the woman you kept throwing to the back burner? It's disgusting.
Caitlin Clark knows it too. She's seen what Lexie sacrifices. The body bruises, the extra defensive drills, the emotional leadership. That's why Clark's subtle frustration has started showing. She can't publicly bash her coach, but she's made her stance clear in other ways. After the Fever's final playoff game, Caitlin specifically named Lexie when talking about the players who kept us grounded. It wasn't a random compliment. It was a message. Think about the message this sends through the locker room. If Lexie Hull, the ultimate team-first player, the one who sacrifices every possession, can be treated like this, what does that say to the rest of the roster? It tells them merit doesn't matter. It tells them politics matter more than production. Once that belief spreads, it's over. No system, no scheme, no coach can fix that. This is the make-or-break moment for Indiana. Lexie Hull finally has leverage, and she's earned every ounce of it. If Seattle calls and offers her a starting job, a strong system, and the respect she's never gotten in Indiana, how could she say no? Why should she? The Fever have given her no reason to stay.
Lexie Hull can't consider leaving the Indiana Fever if she does not get the proper promises from Stephanie White the same way that DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard got them, and I wouldn't blame her. I want Lexie Hull back, but if she said, hey, Seattle Storm, they're going to give me a max and I'm going to be a guaranteed starter. If you guys aren't offering me the same and valuing me that way, then I'm going to leave. I wouldn't blame her.
And here's the tragic irony. Stephanie White created her own problem. She bet on the wrong players, pushed away the right ones, and now she's reaping the fallout. She wanted to control the narrative, to build the team in her image. Instead, she's built resentment. And if Lexie walks, it'll be a public referendum on her leadership. A flashing neon sign that says, this coach lost the locker room. Because here's what everyone seems to forget. Lexie isn't begging to stay. She's not desperate. She's wanted. She's respected around the league. And she's got one of the most influential players in basketball, Caitlin Clark, standing quietly but firmly in her corner. Clark knows that if Indiana loses Lexie, it's not just a roster move. It's a betrayal of everything they claim to stand for. If that happens, the damage goes far beyond the stat sheet. The locker room will fracture, the chemistry will vanish. And Caitlin Clark, who came to Indiana believing in the rebuild, will start to wonder if the franchise she trusted really values loyalty at all. That's the real danger here. Not missing out on a free agent, not dropping a few defensive rankings, but losing the faith of your leader. Because once a player like Caitlin Clark feels betrayed, there's no PR fix, no team meeting, no motivational speech that can rebuild that trust. So here's the reality check for Indiana. You can keep pretending this is business as usual, or you can face the truth. You're not just on the verge of losing Lexie Hull. You're on the verge of losing the heart of your culture. You're playing with the one thing no franchise can afford to lose: belief. Caitlin Clark has already broken her silence in the way she knows best, through action, through support, through the kind of loyalty this organization forgot how to show. But if Indiana doesn't wake up soon, her silence will turn into distance. And when that happens, the Fever won't just lose Lexie Hull. They'll lose Caitlin Clark's trust. And once that's gone, The dream of an Indiana dynasty is dead before it even began. Do you think Lexie will stay next season or walk away in free agency? Let us know why in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.